With head coach Bill Fitch in our pregame show as we open up this Eastern Conference Championship Series against the two best teams in basketball, Bill, and it should be a dandy, but I know that you've got a few feelings about playing on Tuesday and Wednesday night here in Boston.
Well, that's a dead issue right now. The fact of the matter is we're going to play 2 nights in a row. My feeling is that when the playoff time comes, you should have a day's rest, but we'll go at it this way. It doesn't mean that we're not going to play any better. In fact, I've heard some people say it's to our benefit. I hope they're right. It's going to be a good series for the fans, though. This is what they've all waited for. Both ball clubs have had great seasons. It's too bad one of us has to go down to the losing side of the ledger, but I don't have any negative thoughts about this thing, Roger. We're going into it with the idea we're going to win it, and the sooner we get it started, the sooner we can get that done.
Bill, 9 days off. What did you work on in that period of time?
Well, we took a couple of days off, and then we more or less watched how the other series was going. We probably spent more time. We're lucky again. We took Philadelphia in our little poll, and we worked a little bit harder on Philadelphia than Milwaukee. And it's a touchy situation. You can't scrimmage too much because you don't want to get people hurt. But we were pretty competitive, and I think the guys all have a good feeling about the way they use their rest.
I'm sure you watched that Milwaukee-Philadelphia series, and it was a great series. 7 games went right down to the wire, and Philadelphia, I guess, would have to be a little bit emotional coming off that, but then again, it was a tough physical series for them.
Well, it was, and I think that they have some momentum coming off of that because Milwaukee certainly played great, and it was too bad that they had to go down on the losing side because they're a great team and they had a great season. But I think Philadelphia probably gained from it, and we're going to talk a lot about probably the best 10 minutes of basketball that we'll see Philadelphia play will be the first 10 minutes tonight, if there is such a thing as momentum, and we're going to have to be prepared for that.
Well, Bill, it's nice to be here live with you, and good luck.
Thanks a lot, Roger.
Okay, and we'll be back with the start of tonight's game right after this. Hi, everyone. Roger Twibell and Bob Cousy here with you tonight at the Boston Garden as we bring you the opening game of the Eastern Conference Championship Series between the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers. And, Bob, it's only right that it should come down to these two teams because they are the very best in all of basketball.
Oh, without question, Raj. The atmosphere here is electric, as I'm sure everyone can hear. The little dunking exhibitions by the guys in white kind of got the fans' attention. Not that they needed to be aroused for this series, because I think, as we've been saying for most of the year, really, the winner of this series, I think, is going to produce the NBA champion. And frankly, I think it's get even time. I think the Celtics are at the peak of their game. They have been building, as the season ended. Whether or not this 10-day layoff is going to affect them, we'll know, I think, in the initial 4 or 5 minutes. But I think they've overcome this in the past all season long. I don't think it will have an effect on them. And I think, conversely, frankly, Philadelphia has been going a little downhill. Not only the last month of the season, but I don't think they've performed up to their capability during the playoffs up to now. So whether or not the Celtics bring out the best in them,
well, that's yet to be seen, right? Let me ask you one thing. Last year, Philadelphia came into this situation, Bob. The Celtics had the home court advantage. Philadelphia was able to win that first game. Then Boston really had to bust it to win the second game, and everything was downhill after that. First game, in my opinion, very, very pivotal tonight.
I think without question. I think the Celtics are going to win this game. I agree with Fitch and Red Auerbach's complaints about the back-to-back home and home. I think it does somewhat neutralize the home court advantage. I think if it had to happen, it should have happened to Philadelphia, since Boston theoretically was the best record-wise team in the league. So I think it's going to be very difficult for them to win the first 2 games. I think they probably will win tonight, however.
They're the starting lineups for the Philadelphia 76ers right now. Dr. J being introduced, Lionel, Hollins, Maurice, and of course Darryl Dawkins, who's been in a funk somewhat against Milwaukee, did not play very well at all. Caldwell Jones and Bobby Jones saw considerable action. And in my mind, and I know, Bob, you said this many times yourself, that they're probably a better basketball team with Caldwell and Bobby in there together rather than Dawkins.
If I were advising Billy Cunningham, not that he needs my counsel necessarily, I'd go with that starting lineup. I still think Dawkins is the weak link. I agree when he's at his best that they're an awesome team, that he complements their talent to the point where they cannot be beaten. But he is so inconsistent that generally he hurts them. I would start Caldwell Jones and Bobby Jones. I think it makes them stronger defensively and gives them more consistency offensively.
Well, a nice standing ovation right now for the Boston Celtics as they're just about ready to be introduced. And once again, a sellout. Tonight's game will be the 24th consecutive sellout for the Celts here at the Garden. A new franchise record as Toney Archibald and Chris Ford, the much maligned backcourt duo, Bob, who played extremely well against Chicago.
Big difference this year between their performance in this series, I think. The same names and the same bodies will be guarding each other, but Toney and Chris have a lot more help behind. And specifically in the person of this big guy, Robert Parish, who has been the most effective big man in the league this year.
Fans can't see it, but Toney Archibald's got the biggest smile on his face right now as Larry Bird is introduced. And we're just about set for action, and we're happy to be able to bring you this game tonight live here on Channel 4. We'll be back tomorrow night with Game 2, and then Friday night with Game 3. And I feel like CBS is giving me a stay of execution myself. I'm delighted to be working with you again tonight. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem, and it'll be sung by Brighton's Freddie Tagtanaglia.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight of the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave of the land and of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, there's definitely some electricity in the ancient Boston Garden tonight. Game 1 of the best of 7 series. First 2 games here at the Boston Garden, Friday and Sunday in Philadelphia. There you look at the officials. Wally Rooney on the left, Jim Capers in the center, John Vanek on the right, and it will be Rooney and Vanek, the lead officials tonight, with Capers the backup. To set you straight on what has transpired throughout this NBA playoff in regards with Philadelphia. They beat Indiana in the miniseries 2 straight, were extended to 7 games, Bob, by Milwaukee, and just a fantastic series. They pulled out the winners Sunday in Philadelphia, and as you said, the strange thing is Philadelphia probably didn't play up to their potential, yet beat Milwaukee in that 7-game series, and that has to scare you just a little bit.
I think they're having difficulty with their consistency. I think that last game against Milwaukee demonstrated that, Raj. They had it broken open in the third quarter, a lead of 16 or 17 points. You know, a team with the kind of strength Philadelphia has, unless they lose concentration, they should not let a lead like that slip away in a very important game. And they've done that in the past. That was not an exceptional situation. So a couple of things that have changed between these two clubs. The help that the guards are going to get from Parish and McHale. And also, Jay should not be able to take it to the basket as easily as he did last year for the same reason. When he gets by Max, if he gets by Max, McHale and Parish hopefully will be waiting for him.
Jones inside. The flip hook won't go. Maxwell with the rebound. Toney Archibald to push it up, and we'll set the matchups for you as soon as we can. Parish to pull up pop. Hits! Robert Parish, the first 2 points tonight. Celtics out on top, 2-0. Archibald on Cheeks. Bird on Caldwell Jones. Wide open from 16 and hits. Caldwell Jones can't shoot the basketball, Bob. He just doesn't put it up that often.
Well, they're going to give him that shot. And I think it's a good percentage move. He won't hit it with that kind of consistency. Dawkins will also give Parish that outside shot. And if he hasn't learned that to yet, I think Robert's going to give him another lesson tonight.
Dawkins the rebound off the Maxwell miss. Max matched up on Dr. J. Chris Ford on Lionel Hollins, and Parish on Dawkins. Hollins with the ball now. He pulls up with it. Oh, air ball. Maxwell with the second rebound. The Toney in the middle. Celtics will push it up, looking to run, as they always do. T in the lane. The Larry in the corner. A couple fakes. Finally puts it up, and that shot initially. He gave it a couple of fakes, and he has not been successful in faking Caldwell Jones. Caldwell 7 feet, he just doesn't go for it. Blocked by Maxwell. Tipped by Archibald, and Max comes up with it. Cedric, Larry, and in.
Outstanding defensive play by Cedric Maxwell, then brought it down and laid a nice fake on the defense. Was able to get the ball to Bird, who finished it off. Good job by Max. Max did an exceptional job in that last game against Philly, the regular season, by the way.
Cheeks gets it to Paul. Let's take a look at it now.
There it is. Watch Jay. Max takes an initial swipe at him and misses, but then hangs tough in the play. Was able to get a hand on it. Toney gets it over to him, and Max over to Bird. Good unselfish play on that fast break.
At the Celtics end, Robert Parish is fouled going up for a shot. Basket was no good. Foul's going to be on Dr. J, and Robert Parish will step to the line.
I'm surprised that Caldwell Jones, you were talking about his guarding Bird a moment ago, was not either overplaying Bird to try to keep him from getting the ball, but he was also giving him the outside shot.
He was.
Boy,
I think Caldwell has Larry thinking just a little bit, though. If we've seen in past games, Larry is such an excellent player at making that head fake, shoulder fake. Caldwell's 7 feet tall. He just doesn't have to take him. Celtics on top 5-4 as Parish had 1 of 2. Jay will take the outside shot from 19, in and out, and Parish has the rebound. Celtics coming off a 9-day rest. Bird pull up, hits.
Again, Toney setting the tempo. Toney and Cheeks for the respective teams will be responsible, and in that sense, be critical in terms of how effective the offense of the two teams are, in that they must set the tempo, and they must keep pushing the ball up floor quickly and looking for those free men.
Blocked by Parish. The rebound. Releases to Toney. Celtics have a 3-on-2. T to Max.
Beautiful.
And 2.
Beautiful play development by Archibald that time. He knew he wanted to go to that right wing, so he faked the defense completely over to the left and then laid a soft pass over to Maxwell. Nice job.
Archibald with 3 assists now, and Bobby Jones getting ready to check into the basketball game for the Philadelphia 76ers. Cheeks, 5 on the shot clock. Down to 3 now. Erving with 2 on the shot clock. Won't go. Caldwell Jones, an aggressive rebound. Loose ball foul's going to be on Larry Bird. And Bobby Jones will check into the game.
Strangely, he comes in for Jay rather than Dawkins. That'll put Jones on Max, and Caldwell Jones will stay on Larry Bird.
Jay missed his first 4 shots, Bob. Hollins drives, flips it off to Caldwell Jones, who puts it up and in.
That's good penetration by Hollins.
Hollins, a veteran, played on an NBA championship club in Portland. Ford, offensive foul as Bobby Jones does what he does so well, and he takes that charge.
Good defensive anticipation by Jones there. Not easy for a man 6'8" and 9" to get that position on a smaller and quicker guy. This is what Jones does best. Many acknowledge him as the best defensive forward in the league.
There's no question about that. Hollins leans into Ford, no call. Bobby Jones sneaks in for the rebound, blocked by Parish. Toney with it. He's got a 3-on-2 to Ford on the side to Bird, and 2. Was that set up? Bird with 6 points, and a crowd loves it. Celtics on top, 11-6, 8:08 to go first quarter.
One of the keys in this series, since we're talking about the number 1 and number 2 defensive teams in the league, Philly led the league in defense. Boston was second. Will be the transition time it takes, because both of them were on effective fast break. Parish,
Goaltending.
again gets a hand on the strong muscle move by Dawkins. There's the Hollins shot. Jones sneaks in along the baseline. Good job. Gives a couple of pump fakes to Parish, but Parish still is able to reject.
Toney just throws it up, and they're going to call an offensive foul. Wally Rooney with the call, offensive foul on Toney Archibald. Now let's take a look at Bird as he comes down to the transition. Archibald keying the play.
There it is. Toney looking left, passing right. Ford now holds up, lets Toney draw the defense away from Bird, who comes through on a trailer. Nice job.
Jones with an air ball. Celtics have it now on their break. Archibald has the ball deflected by Caldwell Jones. It'll be Celtics basketball underneath their own hoop, and it has been fast-paced, Bob. And the Celtics seem to be picking up right where they left off against Chicago. They played some excellent basketball out there.
Both teams, in order to be successful, must run an effective break. So far, the Celtics have done it much better than Philadelphia.
Tiny Archibald adding to his rebounding statistics there as he picked one up off the floor. Second rebound for Tiny tonight. Ball knocked out of bounds. It'll be Celtics basketball. 12 on the shot clock. Ford will take it inbounds. There have been some switches, Bob, in his Philadelphia team as Bird throws it deep to Archibald on the side. Tiny underneath. The scooper and hits. Archibald went to the ice cream store on that one. Woo.
A little dipsy-doodle job by Tiny. They were in the alley-oop play on the side out of bounds for Tiny. I don't know how he got in that position.
Deflected inside by Parish as he's overplaying Dawkins. They'd like Darryl to take that shot right there. He hit it. And I'll tell you, Caldwell Jones and Larry Bird are having a battle underneath.
Jones just wiped the Bird out that time. Just hooked him and drove him to the floor.
Bird had some kind of series against the Chicago Bulls in those 4 games. Bobby Jones on Maxwell now. Parish is in the lane, comes out on top. Finds Bird. Larry around the pick. Will take it from 18 and hits. Bird with 8 first-quarter points. Celtics lead at 15-10. Celtics shooting 63% so far, 7 of 11 from the floor.
Philadelphia with a little bit of a speed and quickness advantage on the Celtics, especially at the guard position, but they haven't exploited it. They're not pressuring the Celtics.
Hollins,
good move there, a little pump fake.
His first hoop, and Andrew Toney getting ready to check in. Tiny to the hoop. And they say it was before the shot. Time out on the floor with 6:01 to go first quarter. Celtics lead at 15-12. And we'll be back right after this. Andrew Toney has checked into the game now, and Maurice Cheeks has come out. So Dr. J was taken out quite early, Bob, and we're checking right now to see if there was an entry problem or something. As we take a look at the Philadelphia bench, and there's Jay sitting next to trainer Al Domenico and Steve Mix. No problem, apparently, just got him out of the game.
Well, Jay's contribution and presence is obviously necessary for the Philadelphia cause.
Toney matching up now on Archibald, deflected by Dawkins. Darryl seems to be overplaying Robert just a bit more. He's not laying behind him. He's trying to get out in front a bit.
Well, they've got to stop that Celtic inside game, and when Parish is in there, it pretty much
ball knocked loose inside.
Becomes Robert Parish all by himself.
Good job by Bird.
Yep.
Tiny three-point land, won't go. Parish the rebound. Back to Tiny. He'll drive the lane, out to Ford. Three-pointer for Chris. Won't go as Toney runs into the bench. Save. Celtics have it. Tiny on top. Bird is just knocked out by Hollins. Look at this. Ford, three-point land, turns it down. Shot won't go, but he draws the foul. And it's going to be on Andrew Toney.
Good flurry of offensive rebounding and alert ball hawking on the part of the Celtics there. During the season, here's Ford turns down this three-pointer. He gets Toney coming at him. He knows he's got the penetration set up.
Chris hits the first free throw. He'll have one more.
Up.
And Chris gets them both. First 2 points of the night for Chris Ford. And the Celtics lead at 17-12 with 5:15 to go. First quarter. Chris Ford will now pick up Andrew Toney, Bob, with Archibald on Hollins.
Toney's tough. He's a rookie, but he's very effective, especially a good one-on-one player.
Oh, you want Dawkins to take that shot, but he's hit a couple now. Dawkins with 6 points as he's hit a couple of 16-footers. And it's 17-14.
Well, if they don't get the ball inside to him, he gets a little nervous and will go out and look for that 15-footer. But I'd be in favor of giving him that shot, despite the fact that he's hit a couple.
Parish hits!
Ford doing a nice job finding those open men.
19-14, 5-point Celtic lead. Chris Ford on Andrew Toney right now. Maxwell on Bobby Jones. Jones sets the pick. Try to go with the alley-oop. Max saves it. Toney gets it back and in. Andrew Toney, who had a big game, Bob, in the final game of the season here, had, what was it, 34, 35 points?
35. Very effective first-year man, but I don't know how effective he's going to be in this kind of a pressure series.
Parish posting low, working on Dawkins. What a move right there. Won't go, but a nice move nonetheless. Caldwell Jones a rebound to Lionel Hollins. 4 minutes to go, first quarter. Toney. He's not afraid to put it up, and he does. Andrew Toney with his second hoop. And it's 19-18, a 1-point Celtic lead. Tiny right back at you, Buster, and he gets it.
Blows by Toney.
Left him on the floor. Tiny does that as well as anybody in basketball. I'm sure it frustrates a coach sometimes, but somebody puts one in his face, he's going to come right back at you. Bobby Jones, the left hand won't go. Caldwell to follow, and Ford comes up with the ball. T. That's going to be an offensive foul. The call by Wally Rooney.
Good job that time by Toney, anticipating that left drive by Tiny. Of course, he'd prefer to go left, but a lot of times he'll cross you up. If you overplay him on that side, he'll go the other way. That time he laid a little fake. Toney didn't go for it, and he had the position. Bill Fitch doesn't like it, but I think he was set for him.
Second foul on Archibald. Third offensive foul on the Celtics as Dr. J checks back in the game. Hollins right inside, blocked by Parish.
That's exactly what I was talking about on the top of the show. That's what we didn't have last year. The guards can gamble.
Archibald in! He's fouled! The basket counts!
Outstanding move by Tiny Archibald in the basket. After triggered really by the fine defensive play by Robert Parish, which we pointed out. That's the kind of help that the Celtic guards are going to get all year, all series long. There it is. Tiny on a penetration, finds the opening. Pretty good hang time there. Maintains control.
Foul was on Caldwell Jones, and Archibald completes the three-point play. Tiny with 7 points now, and it's 24-18. A 6-point Celtic lead with just under 3 minutes to go. That is their biggest lead of all. Whistle underneath, and Vanek makes the call. It's going to be on Chris Ford, and we have a timeout on the floor with 2:54 to go first quarter. Celtics lead at 24-18. We'll be back to the Boston Garden right after this. Because of tonight's Celtics playoff telecast, Money Sense and Coming Together will not be seen, but will return next week at their regularly scheduled time.
Dr. J back in the lineup.
Has not scored a point yet tonight. That's rather unusual. There are 2 minutes and 54 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Bob, you mentioned that the Sixers came out a little bit flat, but then have picked it up in your estimation here.
Well, that was one of the things that the observers were anticipating, that after that emotional game on Sunday, they might come out a little flat. But they have picked it up. Of course, the fact that...
Steal by Archibald, and Parish comes up with it.
Good defensive play. The Celtics, by the way, do not seem to have been affected by that layoff, and that was the other thing that people were theorizing about. They've come out ready to play and seem sharp.
I think they smell it. Caldwell Jones with the deflection. Jay to Hollins. Nice move by Hollins, but Bobby Jones with the follow, the loose ball foul.
Both these teams hit the backboard, the offensive board, with great intensity. The Celtics, over the span of the season, a little bit of an edge on that offensive board, about 164 more. On the other hand, Philadelphia as a team has out-rebounded the Celtics by about 130 or so. So a little stronger on the overall rebounding on a part of Philly, but a little edge for the Celtics on that offensive board. Bobby Jones is one guy that you must keep off that offensive board.
Celtics now are in the penalty situation. Bird at the line shooting 2 has hit 95% of his free throws, Bob, in the playoffs. As Larry now has 9 first quarter points. Bobby Jones and Dr. J are 0 for 8 from the floor so far in this first quarter.
That's helped, of course. Yeah, Larry was 8th in the league in free throw shooting. Hit about 86% over the span of the season.
26-18, biggest lead for the Celtics. Bobby Jones from the foul line, in and out. Jay keeps it alive, and Caldwell Jones out to Cheeks. Back to Jay. Gets Max in the air, finds Bobby Jones, the left hand, blocked by Perry. That is 3, releases to Ford. Here comes Chris, back to T on top.
I'll tell you, Parish has been a tower of strength guarding that basket.
Won't go. Bobby Jones a rebound. Cheeks to Jay, house call.
Good job, good lead pass by Cheeks. And that's all she wrote. When you give old Jay a step on the field, forget it.
First 2 points for Dr. J, 26-20. with 1:35 to go. Maurice Cheeks guarding Archibald, looking for Maxwell low. Max has got it. Go with the jump hook. 1 fake, 2 fake, 3 fake. Got it. Woo.
Good job.
Maxwell house. Looked like a percolator that time, huh?
Max kind of spun him around on that move. I thought
he was in the lane for a little
might,
while, right?
yeah, might either call 3 seconds or maybe a little bit of a walk, but Max eventually got it up to the basket after laying a half a dozen fakes on Jay.
Foul's going to be on Cedric Maxwell, his first.
Here's Jay's first hoop. Not your ordinary everyday layup type, a little bit more flamboyant than that.
Jay has been known to come in from the stratosphere.
Well, Bill Fitch has said that the key to beating this team is keeping with everyone
Erving.
within Jay from the outside.
Maxwell's had fairly good success, Bob, guarding as Parish has it down low, puts it up and in. Robert Parish now with 7 first quarter points, 30-22, 58 seconds to go. I was going to mention that Max has had fairly good success against Erving this year.
Yes, he has. That's the first time, by the way, that the Celtics have tried to break Parish away. As we know, he's had great success.
Bobby Jones
across the middle.
His first 2.
Parish has had great success all season long, beating the centers down after
Archibald again. Tiny Archibald now with 9 first quarter points, 32-24, as Tiny is doing it all. 4 of 6 from the floor, 29 seconds to go first quarter.
We talked about these 2 kids setting the tempo, and I'll tell you, Cheeks is going to have to dig in a little bit more on Tiny in terms of his penetration, because he's got the kind of speed and quickness where Tiny can get by occasionally, but not as easily as he has so far.
Double team by Maxwell outside Toney, inside Erving, knocked out. And it'll be Philadelphia basketball. 1 on the shot, 11 on the game clock, and he'll reset it to 10. Now that Vanek now is going to say down to 5.
I started to say a moment ago, Bill Fitch feels that keeping the Philadelphia players, close to their average is the key. In other words, not letting any 1 or 2 players go wild on you.
Parish the rebound, 5 seconds to go in the quarter. Max the spin, the Tiny, 1 second. Doesn't get it off. No basket.
Good call. Both Vanek and Wally Rooney right on the play, and the green on the call.
Well, that'll end the first quarter of play here at the Boston Garden, with the Celtics leading the Philadelphia 76ers by the score of 32-24. And we'll be back with second quarter action right after this. 9, Parish 7, Maxwell 4, Ford 2. Meanwhile, for Philadelphia, Erving with 4, Caldwell Jones 4, Dawkins 6, Hollins and Cheeks 2 apiece, along with Bobby Jones and Andrew Toney 4. And the Celtics have made a couple of substitutions. Kevin McHale and ML Carr check into the game to start the second quarter of play.
Robert Parish, I think, the key man for the Celtics in that quarter. Not only with his defensive rebounding, the fact that he scored, he had 6 rebounds, by the way, most of them on that defensive board. He scored 7 points, but had at least 3 key blocks, I thought, which triggered baskets on the other end.
Blocked by Toney.
Toney with a fine defensive play.
But then a foul in the backcourt. Foul's going to be on McHale, as Andrew Toney skied that time. He actually caught Kevin coming down on a shot, but nonetheless a fine effort by Andrew Toney. And you don't see a 6'11" guy getting blocked very often by a 6'2" guard.
Well, as we said a while ago, Toney has great physical talent, shoots extremely well, great one-on-one moves, ball handling a little careless. And here's that defensive play. It's funny, he almost goes up prematurely, but he hung up there and was still able to get his hands on the ball. Jay can't quite handle it, gets a little help from McHale.
Erving 72% from the free throw line in the playoffs, drops them both. Jay with 6 points, and it's 32-26. A lot of pressure.
Half-court trap by Philadelphia. They like to hit you with 2-1-2 zone pressure. Kevin goes cross-court to Bird.
Blast it in. Larry with 12 points.
I'll tell you, these 2 teams know each other so well, Roger. Whatever they do offensively or defensively is not going to catch the opponent by surprise. Parish! He traps it on the backboard. Yep, you cannot trap it. The ball, the hand, and the backboard have to simultaneously be present. There's Cheeks. Well, you can't see the trap, but he did trap it on the backboard. Once it hits the backboard, it cannot be interfered with.
Toney with it on top. Celtics shot 62% in the first quarter. Philadelphia but 43. The Celts went to the line 7 times. Philadelphia did not shoot a free throw in that first quarter. Parish with the shot. McHale to follow, won't go, and Toney the rebound, but a whistle underneath. Loose ball foul.
Little off balance
Foul's
shot
going to
there
be on
by
Dr. J. Second foul on Julius Erving.
little off balance shot by Robert Parish. We saw Kevin McHale get in there from the weak side. We also saw Caldwell Jones and Bobby Jones do it on the other end. You see, when you're fronting the center, and both teams are attempting to front the pivot man, you must need help from the weak side. If they go high lob, it brings the weak side forward across, and this is what opens up that offensive rebounding opportunity for the weak side forward that is left.
McHale misses them both as he's shooting 70% in the playoffs, so this is a big game for the rookie, Bob, both for McHale and Andrew Toney, the two primary rookies on both these teams. Dawkins misses. Oh, Erving came crashing through. And he is fouled by McHale. That was some kind of effort by the good Doc that time.
Absolutely. An exceptional physical effort in getting the initial rebound. Look at Jay knife in between Bird and McHale.
Fouls on Kevin.
Bring it up immediately. Watch this. Waste no time getting it back up to the basket. One dribble brings him in. Draws the foul.
You know, Maxwell was telling us about a week ago. He said it didn't make any difference who they played, Milwaukee or Philly. He was going to get Steph Garden, Marcus Johnson, or Dr. J. And I asked him tonight, I said, well, what do you think now that you got Jay? He's played a lot of games, and he looked at me and he said, hey, it doesn't make any difference how many games this guy's played. He's never tired.
As we've said so often, Jay, Bird, and Marcus Johnson are 3 outstanding forwards.
McHale, the offensive board, and in. Kevin McHale.
Beautiful job by the rookie. I'll tell you, that answered part of your question a moment ago. He is hitting those boards with great intensity. That time made a nice play to get the ball back up.
36-30, Toney from way outside and hits it. This is the ability of Andrew Toney. He is an excellent shooter. Toney with 6 points. Toney pushes it up quickly. McHale on top.
Wasn't the best shot in the world, however, and this can hurt you as the game progresses.
Looking low to Parish. Bird will take it. The running right-hander blocked by Erving. They want a goaltending. It's not there. Cheeks all the way and in.
Good job by Cheeks. Protected the ball. Brought his body into ML Carr trying to draw the foul. He's upset. Talking to John Vanek. Good play by Cheeks.
36-34. Celtics by 2 with 9:35 to go. Toney looking for the lane. Back out to Larry. Step back. Lean in. Hits it and he's fouled. What a move.
I'll tell you, got Caldwell Jones up with that pump fake that he likes to use on the outside. Jones was able to avoid the contact initially, but then Bird leaned into him again, made the shot, and this time drew it the second time around.
Oh, that was something.
A nice series of moves. Here it is. Watch him. He's going to pump fake him up the first time. Now, you can't step in under the man. He avoids the foul, but then he steps back into the play and gets a piece of Bird on the outside shot.
Parish checks out. Roby comes in as Bird completes a three-point play. Parish, 7 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 block shots as the big bumper, Rick Roby, checks in right now. Erving over McHale. Won't go. They both hit the deck, and Roby gets the rebound. Releases to Archibald. Toney will put it in the middle. Throws it up. Roby with Dawkins on his back. No call. And they're going to call a foul on Rick Roby underneath.
Well, there were half a dozen fouls that John Vanek could have called that time. He chose to pick Roby out. Let's take a look. Dawkins leaning in.
He's on his back right there.
Roby, yeah.
Pulls him down.
Look at this.
He's got him in an arm lock.
Oh, wow. That's hard to see how that call could have been made.
Are you sure this isn't Saturday Night Wrestling at the Boston Garden? What do we got here? Nonetheless, Philadelphia basketball. Dr. J with it on the side. 8:54 left to go. First half. 5 on the shot clock. Toney with the pop and hits.
It is tough.
Andrew Toney with 8 points. And Bob, I think these two rookies are going to be a big factor in this series. Kevin McHale and Andrew Toney. Bird off the window and in.
They're going to have to find Larry quicker than that, I'll tell you. They're letting him penetrate low before going out to guard. I mean, that's opening up the outside shot.
Well, he's got 17 so far, Bob, in the first half. 41-36. Celts on top by 5. Mix is in the game now. there is some banging going on inside between Roby and Dawkins. Here comes the Doc. Won't go. Bird the rebound.
Tell you, McHale has really got Jay thinking.
Toney turns it over on the dribble.
McHale had 2 big blocks on Jay in that crucial last season game between these two clubs, and I think Jay's still looking over his shoulder a little bit.
Philly wants a timeout with 8:12 to go first half. Celtics lead at 41-36, and we'll be back to the Boston Garden right after this. Eastern Conference Finals Wednesday night at 7:30 right here on Channel 4. Gerald Henderson checks into the game now for the Celtics. And on the season, Bob, Andrew Toney shot 49.5% from the floor. In the regular season against the Celtics, 54.8%. So far in the playoffs, just 39%, but he's come out smoking here tonight. Rookie out of Southwest Louisiana, #1 draft pick by the Philadelphia 76ers. Steve Mix is not afraid to put it up. Won't go. Dawkins the rebound, but a whistle underneath. Foul's going to be on Darryl Dawkins as Wally Rooney makes the call. First foul on Dawkins. 3 team fouls on both the Sixers and the Celtics with 7:58 to go first half. Bird, McHale, Carr, Roby, and Henderson in there now for the Celtics. ML on top with the shot and hits.
ML effective with that move because he catches the ball, holds it high from the time he receives, and he can drive from that position or obviously shoot. And that time he elected to shoot. Almost
good hustle
save by Roby. Good hustle.
Well, Mix was the guy that mixed it up with Bob Lanier on Sunday in that final 7th game. And I have to say that Mix got the worst of it.
Yeah, he took a pretty good shot from Lanier. Pretty tough kid, though, Mix. He doesn't have that overwhelming speed and quickness, so he tries to make up for it in other more subtle ways, like hammering people.
Deflection by Bird. Carr comes up with it long past the line.
Was able to save it.
Cheeks comes away with it. He's got Toney on the wing along with Jay. Inside to the Doc. Won't go. Jay gets it back and slams it home.
Jay's starting to take charge a little bit.
Jay now with 10 points, and it's 43-38, a 5-point Celtic lead with under 7 minutes to go. First half.
Kind of vintage Jay there. Missed it on one side.
Steal by Jay.
Roby.
Here it comes. Showtime.
When Jay's got that overplay, when a man you want to pass to, you need one pump fake before you let it go. And then when you let it go, don't hang it. Put a little mustard on it. That's the end of it. The play was made when he stole that ball. Little lazy pass there by Rowe.
Henderson coming off the pick. Gerald, the turnaround shot, and in. Gerald Henderson.
Not the best shot, but Gerald
got it down.
Got it down, yeah.
Cheeks quickly up court. Henderson on him. Good physical matchup between those two players. Very similar in size and style.
The Celtics run their offense, pretty effectively to the point where you really don't have to force a shot.
Should be an offensive foul. Rooney's going to call it on Henderson.
Yep.
All right, Rooney's got a better angle at it than we do down here. Fouls on Gerald Henderson, his first, and fourth on the team.
Here it is. Gerald's giving him the baseline. He takes it. Gerald, he never did have the position established.
Henderson,
double team
now. Cheeks coming off the pick. Inside, Bobby Jones, a baseliner from about 14, and hits. Bobby Jones with his second hoop, and it's 45-42, a 3-point lead. Roby, and they're going to call an offensive foul on Rick Roby.
Again, Robe is going against extreme speed and quickness on this club, so when he catches, before he makes his move, he's got to get himself under control. The ball actually led him into Jones on that particular play. I don't know whether he could have put on the brakes, even if he had seen Jones take a position.
Andrew Toney in the corner, coming off the Dawkins pick, and what a pick it was. Won't go. Jones the rebound. Back to Toney. Tipped around. ML Carr comes away with it. And they're going to call a block on Andrew Toney. And Toney stuck a leg out.
Yeah, he had the position, but he jumped in too quickly. You've got to give the offensive man a chance to avoid the contact. That time he just jumped in as ML got that deflected ball. Watch this. Depending on the speed of the players, you've got to give them either a 1 or 2 step advantage to avoid the contact. That time they felt that ML did not have it. Let's take another look. See if you think he had the position. He was stationed and he was squared off, but I think he didn't give him enough room.
Carr 79% from the foul line in the playoffs, and he cans 1 of 2. Both teams 4 team fouls. 46-42. Celtics out on top. 5:24 to go. First half. Inside to Dawkins, working on Roby. Puts it up. Won't go. Bird has it stripped by Toney. It'll be Celtic basketball. So they'll try to work Dawkins low now against Roby.
Yeah, they got it into him that time and had to pretty good positions, but Dawk just couldn't quite work himself free for the best shot.
Henderson to Roby on top. Looking to McHale low. He's guarded by Bobby Jones. 10 on the shot clock. Rick looking at it. Gives it to ML. And he says, you take that shot. It won't go. And rebound taken down by Maurice Cheeks. Across the timeline, he pushes it. Loses it for a moment, but Andrew Toney comes up with it. Jay. Bounce pass inside. Stolen by Roby.
Good steal. Jay a little careless there with his bounce pass. Celtics created 17 turnovers in the first half against these guys in the last game. That last season game. 30 for the game. So
Bird and 2. Larry Bird now with 19 points, and it's 48-42. Celtics lead it by 6. Bird has hit 8 of 12 so far tonight, Bob.
Got a lot of hoops on that little pop-out move off that single pick down low. If the defense runs out there with him,
look at that pass by Erving.
Basket.
Bobby Jones it in. What a pass by Erving with the left hand. Bird pulls up 20 feet. Won't go. Bobby Jones a rebound. Here comes Maurice Cheeks. Pull-up pop from 20. In and out. McHale the rebound. ML Carr in the middle. The Bird on the wing. Larry, 16 feet. Won't go. And there's going to be a foul from behind.
No question about the foul on Roby that time, and that'll bring him down for bonus. There's the low pass into Jay. McHale does a pretty good job on him defensively, so he's got to flip it back out to Bobby Jones, who finishes it off.
Foul was on Kevin McHale that time. That is his 3rd. So 3 fouls on McHale, and the Celtics are over the limit, so Bobby Jones will go to the charity stripe.
Good free throw shooter, Bobby Jones. Good all-around play, as we pointed out. His strength is his defense, but he moves extremely well, especially on the break. Here it is. No question about the call, as we said. Oh, Kevin's getting kind of cute, though.
Bobby Jones, as you mentioned, an excellent free throw shooter. As a matter of fact, Bobby's 4th in NBA playoff history in field goal percentage. So, I mean, that's going to make him pretty good from the free throw line, too.
Well, his shot selection is excellent. He will very seldom take a low percentage shot. And he's generally not looking to score, except when he's running out of the lane on the break. Maxwell is back in.
Jones misses the second one. McHale come out with 3 fouls. Maxwell in. Henderson. Clint Richardson in there now, number 4. Richardson, 2nd year out of Seattle. Henderson will take it from 20. Won't go. Celtics are going cold now from the outside. They're not trying to get the ball in.
They're still running well, but their half-court offense has gone a little stale.
3:25 to go. Toney pushes off, and they're going to say that ML Carr was on top of him before that push-off. Foul is on Carr, and that will be his first. And Robert Parish and Toney Archibald will check back in the game now, and Henderson and Roby will come out.
Good move by Bill Fitch, I think. Here's the Toney move. He gives him a little change of pace action there. And ML isn't quite able to get back into position. Toney is tough, as we've said. You've seen him hit a couple of outside shots. Now the defense is coming out a little bit more on him, and it's opening up his driving opportunities. Obviously, the effectiveness of a guard is really how well he can do these 2 things. Hit from about 16 or 17 feet, put it to the floor, and bring it into the basket.
Toney drops them both. 48-47 at one point. Celtic lead. Celtics have led throughout this first half. 3:15 to go. Bird open. won't go. Parish, the offensive rebound. Tough baseline turnaround won't go, and Dawkins has it. That's a tough angle for Robert there behind the glass.
But, he's doing a number on Dawkins on those boards, though. He shouldn't be that effective if Dawkins is doing his job, boxing out, or else going strong for the rebound himself. Robert shouldn't be as effective as he has been.
Caldwell Jones with a downhill hook shot over Larry Bird. Caldwell has 6, and the Sixers have the lead for the first time tonight, 49-48, with 2:43 to go first half. Maxwell looking low to Parish. Now he'll take it inside, drops it to Bird. Larry, a couple of fakes, will put it up and in. Larry Bird now with 21 points.
Larry more offensive-minded tonight than he generally is. I think he knows that...
As all great players do in the playoff series, you know, he's going to take charge. Turnover there by the 76ers. And there's a timeout by the Boston Celtics with 2:17 to go. First half, Celtics lead it by 1, 50-49. And Bob and I will be back at the Boston Garden right after this. As of tonight's playoff game, Evening Magazine will be shown later tonight at 10:30. Featured are stories on psychic Bill Burns and a woman who lives with a killer disease. Evening Magazine tonight at 10:30 right here on Channel 4. Celtics in the second quarter shooting 40%, Philly 47. On the game, the Celtics 51%, and Philly 45. Celtics out rebounding Philadelphia, Bob, 24-19 so far.
Celtics have been tough on that offensive board, especially, I thought. As I said, they have an advantage over this club on the offensive boards.
Carr posting up on Caldwell Jones, will take it inside at a whistle. Vanek.
ML had the hoop, too.
Fouls on Clint Richardson, and he'll go to the line.
Take a look. We get a whistle as he comes through the middle here, but they were going to give him the continuation on the play. There you saw Cheeks wasn't reaching
Clint
in.
Richardson reaching in. Both teams in the penalty now, so ML will have 3 to make 2. And he hits the first one.
You know, I started to say a little earlier, these two teams know each other so well, they have each other so well scouted, that nothing that they do defensively or offensively should catch the other by surprise. We saw Philadelphia go into that 2-1-2 zone, full zone pressure, trying to tap the ball after they made free throws. Celtics handled it easily. What happens on offense, too, is the options to the play when two clubs know each other as well generally are more effective than the play themselves. Or the broken play, for instance, may work a little better.
5 on the shot clock. Dawkins took a step, didn't call it, and he hits it. I'll tell you, Dawkins has hit his outside shot. Dawkins with 8 points, and it's 52-51 with 1:34 to go. Dawkins 4 of 6 from the floor. Maxwell moving in on Bobby Jones. Got the baseline. No call. No call, and Andrew Toney comes up with a basketball.
Good job by Toney again, coming over to help on the big guys. Able to slap it out of Max's hands.
10 on the shot clock. Philly being very patient right now. And a whistle outside on ML Carr, and ML doesn't like it one bit. Second foul on ML.
They were trying to isolate Toney on the right side. They swung the ball around. I think ML anticipated the play. And you're going to see him overplaying him here. Well, here's the Max play, by the way, last time down. Jones with the good defensive position, but Max is still able to bring it around him. And Toney comes over from the other side with the good defensive play. Here it is. They're swinging the ball, trying to isolate Toney on the right side. ML anticipates and overplays to try to keep him from getting it. A little too aggressively, according to Wally Rooney. And
Toney is 70% free throw shooter in the playoffs, and he cans them both. So Andrew Toney now with 12 points off the bench. A good contribution by the rookie out of Southwest Louisiana. T on top. In and out. Toney with the basketball. 53-52. Philly on top. Andrew Toney in the Bird, and it's going to be an offensive foul.
No question, again, on that call. Toney just lowered the shoulder. Watch now, he gets by ML with Jones running interference. Now you're going to see him just throw himself into Bird. Third foul on Toney, by the way.
50 seconds to go first half. Toney working on Richardson, picked by Parish. Looking inside, he's got Robert. Caldwell Jones on him. The turnaround shot hits! Robert Parish with 9 points.
first hoop this quarter. Robert's been a little quiet offensively, but he's been a tower of strength defensively and on those boards.
Carr on Toney, whistle. And Toney and Carr squaring off right there. Billy Cunningham comes out on the floor, and now ML Carr and Billy Cunningham are having some words. I'll tell you, ML doesn't back up. He doesn't give any ground.
He wants
whatsoever.
a piece of him, too. Well, it hasn't taken long for the war to start in this series, has it?
We have a 20-second timeout, I believe.
Whoever called it, a very judicious call, I would say, because
apparently there was no call on the initial contact between Carr and Toney, and it was a 20-second timeout.
Well, a whistle was blown, however. Did they call a violation?
No, there
or
was
a foul?
there was no foul, no violation. They just started mixing it up.
Philadelphia asked for the 22nd timeout?
Apparently Philadelphia did ask for the 22nd, and there was no violation. Here it is.
Again, trying to isolate Toney on ML. ML reaches in, and evidently Toney said something to him. No, I guess they did not call a foul on the play.
26 seconds to go. 11 on the shot clock. Hollins back in there. Fadeaway jumper, and hits it. He does that so well, Bob, falling away from the hoop.
He leans in and gets you falling off him, and then he just takes that little fall-away jumper. There's a good move, and a tough move to counteract.
Toney with 10 seconds to go first half. That one final shot. They're going to set Bird up. 5 seconds. Parish has got it. 4, 3, 2. They won't get anything off. Celtics can't get it off, and that ends the first half of play from the Boston Garden, with the Philadelphia 76ers holding a 1-point, 55-54 lead. We'll be back with our halftime right after this. Action, and I believe momentarily we're going to have a little introduction here. But maybe we're not. No, I guess not. Okay. Patty Catalano's on hand here tonight. Of course, she finished second in the Boston Marathon women's division yesterday. And there's a shot of her right there. And Patty is one of the biggest Celtic fans going, as Parish hits the turnaround. Well, Patty gave it her best shot, but finished second for the 3rd year in a row.
Well, I'll tell you, she's a heck of an athlete.
Yes, she is.
She's got a long way to go. She's going to win a few more races before she hangs them up.
Erving from the side and hits.
Celtics going inside early to Parish.
57-56. Both starting lineups come back to open the 3rd period. Maxwell to Ford underneath. Had a whistle underneath. Vanek makes the call.
I think Hollins got Max before he was able to swing that pass across to Ford on the double-up.
First foul on Lionel Hollins.
Again, Celtics trying to go inside. They went to Parish the first time down. This time to Max. He picks up the double team, immediately looks for that free man. Celtics do that extremely well. Their interior passing is excellent.
Toney, the only Sixer in foul trouble with 3. Meanwhile, McHale with 3 fouls for the Celtics. Maxwell once again back out to Toney. Off the mark, and Erving with the rebound. Doc's got the springs loaded tonight. He is jumping. Cheeks inside to Dawkins.
Well, we talked about Larry Bird and all the ways that he can hurt you. A terrible shot by Dawkins.
That was a running brick.
Oh, wow. Well, that's what I mean by an occasional lack of consistency or concentration by the big guy.
Steps right there by Parish.
He makes up for it with a pretty good defensive play. He forces Parish into taking the baby steps there. 8
turnovers for the Celtics. Bob Dawkins was 4 of 6 from the floor, and he hit most of those from outside.
Yeah. The Celtics were able to shut him off inside, so he went out and he can hit that little 15-footer. He faces the hoop pretty well.
But ideally, that's a shot you'd like him to take.
No, well, you've got to give something away generally, and you try to force a man to his weakness, or at least the lesser of the two evils.
5 on the shot clock. Hollins will take it, and he hits it. You can't give Lionel Hollins a wide-open shot. He'll just kill you with it.
Nice little streak shooter, as you said earlier, I believe. He is the weaker shooting guard of all the Celtics. Excuse me, the 76ers 4 guards. But even he's shooting at 47%, so I don't know how weak that is.
Third and air ball on the baseline. Max, the offensive rebound, and then is tied up underneath.
That air ball caught the
Foul's going to be
Philadelphia
on Hollins.
defense completely by surprise. I think they've never seen Bird shoot an air ball before. Let's see if somebody gets a hand on it. Now Jay goes up, but I don't think he deflected it. But anyway, Max is the only guy that responded to it, got a hand on it.
59-56, a three-point Philadelphia lead. That's their biggest lead of the night. Maxwell working low, stripped by Cheeks, knocked loose, and Mo Cheeks comes up with it. Behind the back across the timeline now. Cheeks will set things up. Dawkins on a high post.
Philadelphia guards extremely quick. Both Hollins and Cheeks. If you don't protect the ball, they're going to normally be able to get a hand on it and accomplish something.
Erving with the scooper.
Outstanding move by Julius Erving on that play.
Save that one for the time capsule. Toney puts it up, draws the foul from Cheeks. Second foul on Mo Cheeks. That'll be the third team foul. And Kevin McHale is quickly up off the bench and going to check back in. Third team foul. Let's take a look now at Doctor with the scooper.
There it is. He backs him in, gets Max on the outside, and spins around and just beats Larry Bird, who came over from the weak side to help.
And he did it with the left hand, too. That's
well, that's pretty commonplace for a guy with his talent these days.
I guess when you make that kind of money, they expect you to be able to shoot with both hands. Bobby Jones does that well, too. He can go with the left hand on that type of move. Toney hit 1 of 2, 61-57 as the Sixers have come out smoking here. Start the third quarter. Jay won't go with the glass shot. And here come the Celtics. McHale in for Maxwell. Kevin, the baseline, blocked by Dawkins.
That's good job by the big guy that time. He timed it beautifully. McHale a little off balance on the shot, and as a result had a low trajectory that Dawkins was able to get to.
Inside to Parish. Robert, couple of moves, trying to go inside, lays it, won't go.
Dawkins.
And the foul is going to be on Darryl Dawkins. That'll be his second, but a nice move inside by Parish.
Fourth team foul, by the way, which the Celtics should be able to exploit here on Philadelphia. They go to the line, or they will be going to the line, shooting penalty on every foul after this one. And they've got 8.5 minutes left, so
Parish, he missed badly.
We're going to see them continue to go inside. They started off the half that way. Now they have more motive to...
He missed them both.
Stepped away from it before he released it. You've got to stay with that shot, especially on a free throw line.
Cheeks on top. Bob, how does... Now the second half has started. Jay blocked by McHale.
I'll tell you, this kid had Jay thinking.
And off the glass by Hollins and in. Let me ask you, the Celtics came out of the shoot really fast in that first half. Can the layoff affect them in the second half?
It can. Oh, absolutely. You know, it will manifest itself, but it's just too early to tell. They came out of the box strong, you know, and it normally, if you're going to be flat, it happens at the start. But over the span of 48 minutes, yes, the layoff can affect them in the second half.
There's McHale with the block right there, Jay.
He has really got Jay thinking a little bit. Okay, we've got a timeout here. Philadelphia on top, 63-57. An easy shot at that point because he had decided he didn't want to shoot it, but he couldn't find a receiver, and the clock was running out, so he let it fly.
The crowd has really come to life now. Dawkins outside misses. Toney finally comes up with a loose ball. 6 rebounds for Archibald. Bird with 21 points in the first half. McHale turns the shot. Won't go, and Caldwell Jones a rebound. 3 for Caldwell. Celtics are just 5 of 11 from the free throw line, Bob, in the second and third quarter. 11 of 18 in the game. Erving.
I'll tell you,
Dawkins.
Jay is trying to do everything possible to get the rookie off balance, and I'll tell you, McHale just stays home. He's not reacting to the fakes at all, and Jay doesn't quite know how to handle it. I'm sure he'll find a way, but at the moment, he's a little perplexed.
Bobby Jones will check in now, and Darryl Dawkins will come out. So that's a good move, I think, with McHale in there, is it not, Bob?
That would be my starting lineup, the one you've got in there right now. I think that's the strongest Philadelphia
Ford with a two-pointer. Second hoop, first hoop of the night for Chris, 4 points, and it's 63-61. A 2-point Philadelphia lead. The crowd has maybe sensed a letdown, Bob, and they picked it up. Jay. Bobby Jones skied, but tiny Archibald comes away with it. T with a 4-on-3, and in. Little man does it by himself.
Nice job. That time Cheeks was there, but he didn't establish a position. He gave with the pressure, so he never picked up the charge. I think if he had held his ground, Toney would have charged into him. Good play for the Celts.
Bird reaches in on Jones, can't get it. Cheeks at the foul line, working one-on-one with Archibald. 6 on the shot clock. Mo Cheeks won't go. Jay, and in, and he's fouled.
Didn't box him out, and Jay took advantage of it. Not easy to box this man out, but I'll tell you, the Celtic defense the last 3 times down the floor had forced Philadelphia into bad shots. 2 by Dawkins and 1 by Jay, and they had just forced another low percentage shot. That's the end of the Jay play after he made an outstanding offensive rebound.
Bob, he has got 7 rebounds, 5 on the offensive boards. And he completes the 3-point play. So Erving now with 19 points.
And a big momentum breaker there. The Celts had it going pretty good.
Yes, they did. They had hit 6 straight before that. 66-63. Bird in the lane and hits. Larry with his first hoop of the quarter.
Jones pressured him high. He rolled around him. Took it all the way in himself. Nobody challenged him.
Cheeks runs into traffic. 66-65, a 1-point Philly lead. 5:35 to go in the quarter.
The Celts can shut down a 76 fast break. They do not run their half-court offense anywhere near as effectively as Boston does. Beautiful.
Release to Toney. He's in the lane and scores. Tiny Archibald now with 14 points as Robert Parish has 5 block shots. What a rejector will do for you, Bob. This got to remind you when Russell was swatting him around.
Absolutely. Huh? You can't imagine the impact that type of play has, not only on the fans that you hear, but the 4 other players. Fine play by Archibald, but triggered by Parish's rejection of that Philadelphia shot. Here's Hollins laying off to Jones. Parish leads well, Jones. Yeah, that's also the key to blocking shots. Keep it in play. Now here's the finish to it. And again, McHale forces Jay into an off-balance shot.
Bird the rebound. Toney. McHale and Parish want the basketball. They just can't get it at the same time. T in traffic to Robert. Little baby step. Stripped by Bobby Jones. Here comes Jay. Across the timeline. Cheeks in the middle to Bobby Jones. And in, and he's fouled by Bird.
Good penetration by Cheeks. Parish on the other end, I think, should have taken his little jumper. He trained down a 12-footer to bring it in there. Generally, if you have a choice and you're alive and you got the defense coming at you, you want to take it in. Look for the layup rather than a jumper, but that time it was ill-advised. There's the end of the play on the other end. Cheeks with the good shuffle pass to Bobby Jones, who moves so well out of those lanes.
Misses the free throw, though. Bobby Jones with 9 points. 68-67. Ford misses it. McHale grabs the offensive rebound. Stripped loose by Cheeks. And they're going to say no foul, but it'll be Celtic basketball underneath their own hoop. Boston's bench, Bob, with 11 points. Philly with 21, and all 21 coming from Toney and Jones.
They're the guys that can do the damage.
Well, Bibby was the guy that came off the bench in years past to hurt the Celtics. As Parish hits, and Andrew Toney seemingly has picked up where he left off.
I'm surprised. Parish came out and doubled on Toney off that high pick that they set for him. And then he tried to get back to his own man. If you commit yourself, you've got to stay out on that guard and double him up.
Celtics back on top by 1. Hollins with it. 6 on the shot clock. McHale and Erving. 3 on the shot clock. 1. They don't get it off. McHale has given Erving fits.
The ball must leave the player's hand before the 24 seconds elapses. Then it must touch either the backboard or the rim. As you saw, Caldwell was not able to get it off before the buzzer.
3:43 to go. quarter, 69-68. Celts on top by 1.
Trying to keep Toney from using that high pick.
Cheek's pretty good defensive player.
Setting. Yeah, he's been coming over the top.
He got a foul there, and on Maurice Cheeks, that is his 3rd. And that'll put the Celtics finally, Bob, into the penalty situation. So they went almost 5 minutes.
We talked about exploiting it. There it is. Cheeks. Caldwell Jones takes a shot at him. Toney's tough. He's so low to the ground. So other than his speed, he's very difficult to take it away from. He doesn't show you much ball, and the minute that you challenge him or go for it, once your weight's coming forward, boy, he's going to blow by you.
We've got a meeting of the minds at center court right now with Jim Capers, John Vanek, Wally Rooney, Bill Fitch, and Billy Cunningham as they're discussing something. Capers came out to Vanek and said, we've got a bit of a problem here. Problems always seem to deal with the 24-second clock, it seems as though, Bob. So,
well, the buzzer did go off. If
there was
Billy
no way that Caldwell Jones got that shot off. No.
Yeah. And then it was deflected.
You know, they had a play in that game Sunday against Milwaukee where Jones got a shot off with just 1 second remaining. As a matter of fact, the officials in that game, the media and the Milwaukee management, went over to a television station to watch the tapes afterwards.
Don Nelson and Wayne Embry, requested. I'm surprised they did that. There must have been some question, but evidently the tape verified the official's call.
Billy Cunningham on the job training. Bob came right out of the pro ranks and took the head job. And he's done a remarkable job there with Philadelphia. He got himself surrounded with some good basketball people, and Chuck Daly and Jack McMahon. And,
yes, he has. He's obviously got a very strong team here, but he's got them disciplined. This is the difficulty they had when McGinnis was around. Some of these other guys, you know, it was too much of a one-on-one ball club. A lot of individual strength, but they didn't put it together collectively.
Key deal was Bobby Jones for McGinnis. Tiny Archibald, by the way, with 7 rebounds. That is a career high in playoff competition. Tiny's doing it on the boards tonight. He drops them both. And the Celtics have a 3-point lead, 71-68 with 3:30 to go. 3rd quarter. High lob to BJ and in. Toney with the assist.
Nice quick pass, caught the weak side by surprise there. They weren't able to give the Celtics any help, but were fronting Jones inside.
Ford in the corner. He's got the lane. Hollins steps in. The foul on Lionel Hollins.
Take a look. The defense doesn't have a chance to set. Toney throws it from the waist, and you notice Bobby Jones catching Bird coming across. Here's the 4th foul the next time down. Jones never bothered to come down to the floor. He made the shot in the same motion.
Ford misses a free throw, so the Celtics have gone cold from the charity stripe. They are 11 of 19 and make that 11 of 20 now. So Parish and Ford have gone to the line in this quarter, Bob, and missed a couple.
Well, with 2 teams this evenly matched, obviously the little things are going to make the difference.
Parish the rebound.
You're going to have to hit the percentage of those free throws.
Ford measured it from 3-point land. The leaner, Dawkins swats it out of bounds.
That was an easy one because he got by his man, but he came with the underhand job, and Dawkins moved in, just swatted it out of the air right after he left his hand.
Timeout on the floor, 2:48 to go in the 3rd quarter. Celtics lead it by 1, 71-70, and we'll be back right after this. Sixers and the Boston Celtics. The 76ers will be ready to play the Celts, and this time on their home court, the Spectrum. The Celtics against the Sixers Friday night at 8 on Channel 4. And keep in mind, the Celtics have not won since '79. And there is Patty Catalano, who finished 2nd in the Boston Marathon. And she is such a great booster of the Celtics. Rick Roby and a couple guys at practice the other day said, if you see her, tell her we recognize the fact and we wish her a lot of luck in the marathon race. Parish hits from the side. .73-70. And the clock is messed up now. They've got 11 minutes and 48 seconds on there. And I know that Bill Fitch has his trusty stopwatch with him, so he'll go over and give him the exact time.
Both coaches up.
Should be about 2:48, I believe, Bob.
Yeah, we want by the 2-minute mark. I'm not sure from the Celtics standpoint whether they'd rather have the 11:48 or the 2:48.
How long has this particular clock been in the garden? Do you? You keep track of those sort of things?
1897.
I mean, they weren't using the flip cards when you were playing,
no,
were they?
No. We had this mechanical monster up there on top. Yeah, they always worried about it coming down one of these days. I think that's what speeded up our fast break half the time. I was trying like hell to get out of the way if that monster ever gave.
That's why you always dribble down the corners there by the middle.
Yeah.
Huh? You never went on top.
No, it's been there a while. It's got a little age.
You'd always let Luskatov stand up at the top of the circle.
Oh, Lusky would have punched it right back up to the ceiling. He wouldn't have taken any jazz from that thing. That's a couple of tons to Lusky.
Oh, goodness.
Well,
Bob, has this been a particularly physical game tonight? We've seen a lot of shoving earlier between Caldwell, Jones, and Bird and whatever, but is this going to be a physical series between these two teams, or is this going to be a little more finesse?
Well, I think the tempo of the game and you know, how the series stands will dictate it to a degree. The first half, I didn't think was overly physical for these two clubs who can knock each other up and down pretty well. The second half here, as the players get tired, I think it seems to be becoming a little more physical. A lot of guys with not real foul trouble, but a lot of guys with 3 and 2 fouls on them here. So as they get fatigued, there's going to be a little more grabbing and holding than you had in the early going.
2:33 as they have the clock fixed. That's the time remaining. Third quarter, 73-78 on the shot clock. Dawkins, well, he took a giant step, no call. Jones, a left-handed leaner. Bird, the rebound, hits the deck. Dawkins takes a look at him. Toney across the timeline to Ford on the side. He'll get it to Kevin. Hits Kevin McHale. Old Crumper.
Good job. Again, now that time Kevin turned down the 12-footer, brought it into the middle under control, saw the opening and took it. Toney answers quickly.
Andrew Toney. He has been a factor. 14 points for the rookie. 75-72, less than 2 to go. Clint Richardson is in there now, along with Toney, Caldwell, Jones, Dawkins, and Bobby Jones.
They've got Parish high, and they're trying to post up McHale.
Chris Ford from outside. Watch this play.
Ooh.
And that was not called, folks.
What were we saying about is the game getting more physical? Toney knifes his way through, finds an opening between the two defenders. Then the kid continues to impress with his physical talent.
Foul was on Parish as Dr. J checks back in. Toney, Bob, in college was an exception to the rule. You talk about college athletes, some of them taking more than 4 years to graduate, some never graduating. This guy happened to graduate a semester before everybody else, and his last semester of college, he took a few graduate courses while he played basketball.
That's one way to get to the NBA quickly,
yes,
right?
It is.
You can either leave school early or just hustle up on those books a little bit.
Toney hits one of them, a 69% free throw shooter in the playoffs. 77-73, 120 left to go, third quarter. Looking low to McHale, stolen by Erving. Long pass to Bobby Jones, loses it off his leg.
Took his eye off the ball momentarily. Good pass by Jay off the good defensive play by Julius. I'll tell you, if Julius is guarding you down low, you don't want to hang a pass because somehow he's going to get a hand on it, either deflect it or steal it. So if you're going to go to the man he's guarding, I mean, run it in there, preferably a bounce pass, not an aerial job with any lob.
Bird hits. Larry with his second hoop, 25 points. Inbound pressure by Ford. Ford and Toney banged around a little bit, Bob, during the regular season, if my memory serves me correctly. Toney goes by him that time. Blocked by Ford from behind, tipped around. Dawkins gets it. Darryl just sticks the arm out, no call, and he gets a hoop. 10 points for Dawkins. First 2 of the quarter.
Good muscle job by Big D that time. Billy a little lucky. Celtics had the rebound, just kind of squeezed it away. Bobby Jones doing a good job overplaying on Bird.
Toney puts it up, no call. Out of the pack comes the good dot across the timeline. To Toney, the trailer. Won't go. Battle underneath. And it's going to be Philadelphia basketball. Bob, earlier in the season, Billy Cunningham was starting Toney and bringing Hollins off the bench. He changed his philosophy. Why did he do that?
Well, I think it gives them more stability. Despite what we've seen from Toney, I think the two guys that the Celtics can exploit are Toney and Dawkins. I know Toney's ability, but I think he's careless with the ball. I think he's one-on-one oriented, and I think in a 7-game series it's going to hurt. They got Jay isolated.
2 seconds in the quarter, and they're going to call the foul on McHale, and that will be the 5th on Kevin McHale. Well, Kevin was not going to back off whatsoever. And let's take a peek.
Yeah, Kevin reached in. He's upset with the call, but it looked like he got a piece of Jay's hand. But I'll tell you, he was right there again. And this kid is going to give Jay all he can handle before this series is over.
Jay is 7th on the all-time playoff scoring list, averaging over 25 points per game in playoff action. And he hits the first one.
I'll tell you, Max has done an extremely effective job in that last game on Jay in keeping the ball away from him. And if Max and McHale can combine defensively that effectively throughout this series, it should ensure that Jay's not going to have the big one, you know, the 40-point night.
Sideline pass from Stabler to Casper won't go. And that'll give the ball to Philadelphia because no one ever touched it and went out of bounds. So Philly got a chance to get a shot off. No shot. And that'll end the third quarter of play for the Boston Garden. With the score, the Boston Celtics 79, the Philadelphia 76ers 77. And we'll be back with the final 12 minutes of the first game of this Eastern Conference Championship Series right after this. Twibell and Bob Cousy back with you, 79-77, as we get set for the fourth and final quarter of this first NBA Eastern Conference Championship playoff game. And Bob, can you believe that the Houston Rockets and the Kansas City Kings are playing for the Western Conference Championship? Both teams finished the regular season with 40 and 42 records. As a matter of fact, they were the 5th and 6th teams to make the Western Conference playoffs.
I'll tell you, this has been the strangest playoff, I think, in a 35-year history in terms of predictions and, you know, upsets and home court disadvantage, or the home court becoming a disadvantage almost. The home team has only won 42% of the time in the playoffs this year so far. That's incredible. Yeah. And again, it adds more significance and impact to this series because I think without question, the winner of this series, as we said on top, is going to bring home a flag.
Bobby Jones, pull-up pop, in and out. Clint Richardson, a rebound, as a 6'4" guard snuck in there that time. Yep, foul is going to be on Robert Parish, and that is his second.
That shouldn't happen. Shouldn't let those guards sneak in there.
Celtics shot 65% in the third quarter. As you look at Richardson underneath. He misses. Philadelphia 41% in that third quarter. On the game, Celts 54%, Philly 45%. Celts have out-rebounded Philadelphia 33-28.
As far as say, Hollins gives them great defensive stability, pretty good with the ball, and he's not that great a shooter, but a good streak shooter and a lot of playoff competition. So I agree with
Ford hits from outside.
I agree with the Toney Hollins change completely.
81-78.
Max is back on Jay now.
Stripped loose inside with a foul called. Wally Rooney calls the foul on Tiny Archibald. That'll be 3 on Tiny. And the Celtics have picked up a couple quick fouls there in the opening moments of the final quarter. Couldn't see it, but it was a strip inside on Andrew Toney. Maxwell back in there for McHale as Kevin has 5 fouls. Jay falling away with it. Kind of a knuckleball, won't go with Bird. The long pass to Maxwell. Bird with 7 boards. Max lays it up and is fouled by Erving. And Jay has a few words for Wally Rooney.
Well, he's upset on that last jumper. He claims he was fouled by Max, but I'll tell you, Max simply forced him into a very bad shot. Very uncharacteristic for Jay. And he tried to get back into the play on the other end and foul Max.
Timeout on the floor, 11 minutes to go in the ball game. Celts lead at 81-78. We'll be back right after this. Now, Bird, the long pass to Maxwell, Bob.
Now, Jay, after the poor jumper on his part, tries to get back into the play. He just runs under Max. You don't see it too well on the replay, but he picks up the foul, his third.
first team foul.
No, first team foul on the Celtics.
Celtics starters have gone all the way in the second half with the exception of Maxwell, as McHale came in there for a spell. Max to shoot 2. Cedric would put 4 points, Bob, all those in the first quarter.
Well, they didn't really go to Max that much in the first half. Bird, as we pointed out, was a little more offensive oriented than he generally is. You know, he usually waits till the second half to try to take charge offensively. He looked for his outside shot more than he normally does, I think. In any event, they simply didn't get the ball to Max that often.
83-78, 5-point Celtic lead. Mo Cheeks, guarded by Archibald. Flash and Toney across the baseline now, Bob, with Erving trying to set a pick down there. 8 on the shot clock. Toney on top. Down to 5. Leans into Ford. No call. Won't go, and Parish the rebound. 11 rebounds for Robert Parish. Bird will take it 21 feet, in and out. Maxwell keeps it alive, but they're going to call a foul on Cedric Maxwell. That is his second, and that'll be the
third team foul on Philadelphia.
Third team foul.
Max just comes over the top. Bird again with the quick outside shot. Takes a swipe at it over Jay's head. I guess got a little piece of him.
Bird matched up on Bobby Jones. Toney free on a baseline. Drops it to Jones. Nice play by Andrew Toney. The overplay on the rookie, and he found the open man.
Surrounded by 3 men, still found the opening, was able to get it to Jones.
10:04 to go. Fourth quarter, 83-80. 3-point Celtic lead. Max thinks about that shot. Now take it low. Finds Ford in the corner. Cross court to Archibald. Spreading it out now with 8 on the shot clock. Toney inside. And tipped out. Maurice Cheeks has it. No call. Toney looking for it.
Toney wants it, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Goes by Ford. Drops it off to Cheeks. Wide open. Won't go. Bobby Jones there. Blocked by Bird. And they're going to call a foul on Robert Parish on the other side. I'll tell you what Toney is doing right now. He's getting the penetration rather than Cheeks, and he's finding the open man.
Absolutely. He's creating opportunities. He's looking for his own, but the Celtics are adjusting and hitting him with the double team, and the last time a triple team, and he's finding that 3-man.
ML Carr checks into the game now, and Chris Ford will get a rest. Bobby Jones goes to the line. Jones with 13 points in the night, and drops it home.
Fourth team foul, by the way. Philadelphia will be shooting penalty on the next Celtic foul, and there's still 9.5 minutes to go.
Jones drops them both. So Bobby Jones and Toney with 15 points apiece, Bob, off the bench tonight for Philadelphia. 83-82, a 1-point Celtic lead. Real battle between Archibald and Cheeks. And they're going to call a foul on Cheeks out top. On Mo Cheeks, that is his 4th.
Cheeks is getting in trouble by trying to steal the ball from Toney. He's really circling him out there, and it's opening up opportunities to the basket.
Well, that's
again,
how Toney and Cheeks hit the deck. Toney's not going to take any of that. Max spins inside, puts it up, won't go. Parish battling Caldwell Jones, and it's going to be a jump ball.
Okay, the action is now getting a little bit physical. I'm sure you've noticed that. And it's more than just 2 teams getting tired. They're starting to go at each other.
Yes, they are. They know how important this first game is.
Erving. Jay out front.
Finds Cheeks and in. Now, usually Jay would take that in by himself, but they've been very unselfish in this quarter, Bob. They've done a good job of team basketball.
That shouldn't happen off the tip either at the other man's foul line. You need better coverage on top of the key.
Philly on top now by 1, 84-83. Parish going to be short, and Cheeks gets the rebound. So Philly is dictating the action right now. Cheeks drops it back to Toney in the lane and in. Andrew Toney with the hoop. He has 17, and the Celtics want a timeout as the Sixers have run off 8 straight points. We have a timeout on the floor. 8:44 to go in this ball game, and Philadelphia leads at 86-83. Hang in there. We'll be back right after this. Bob, 20%. Philly 3 of 7 for 43.
Well, both of these teams, as we pointed out, extremely tough defensively. So either one can force the other into taking 2 or 3 bad shots with a quick rebound. It triggers the break. There's nothing that'll trigger fast break quicker than some missed shots, and there's another one by the Celtics.
And Caldwell Jones with the rebound.
And if you can control that defensive board and get it down quickly, both the teams have the talent to do that. Run the break well, so this is what we've seen Philadelphia do here.
3-point Philly lead. 8:10 left to go. 8 on the shot clock with Andrew Toney. 3-point land. Hits!
Ooh, boy, is this kid doing a job.
Andrew Toney now with 20 points. 89-83. Tiny flips it up and in and right back at you, man.
Boy, that was needed.
That was a gut check there by Archibald.
Little guy again going against the grain, as we've said, as all of you know if you've seen Tiny play. He prefers to go to his left. So they're overplaying him on that side. The 5th foul, by the way, on
Cheeks. And that'll bring Hollins back as you see Tiny go up off the glass with it. 5 fouls now on Cheeks. First 2 points of the quarter, Bob, for Archibald.
Tiny penetrates to his right. A little underhand flip after absorbing the foul.
In and out. 3 team fouls on Philly, 4 on the Celtics with less than 8 minutes to go. 89-85. Lionel Hollins in there now. Toney double team with Maxwell and Carr.
He draws the double team, but he didn't see it. And the man left Jay, and he didn't hit him.
Hollins wide open. He's going to hit that thing every darn time. Lionel Hollins with 10 points. And the double team cost the Celtics that time. Carr to Parish and in. Got a break right there.
Yes, they did.
Could have been a travel.
Yep, they almost lost the ball. ML alertly picked it back up and found Robert outside.
91-87. 4-point Philly lead. Toney on top. In and out. Burned the rebound. He has 8.
Now, this is what I'm talking about with Toney. I know he's been great, but he's trying to take over the offense, and eventually that's going to hurt Philadelphia.
ML Carr can't get it to go. Hollins with it. To Bobby Jones and in.
That's a good job by Hollins.
Nice transition there.
I'll tell you, Jones great to feed on that fast
really
break.
is.
I mean, he's quick. He's got good hands. He flies down floor, and you know he's going every time. He's never going to give you the lazy romp.
Filling that lane, doesn't he?
Shoot.
Archibald back to Parish. Robert will take it from the foul line. In and out. Caldwell Jones a rebound.
Big rebound by Jones.
93-87. The 6-point lead, Bob. The biggest lead for the Sixers with 6:25 to go. And Kevin McHale getting ready to check back in. Whistle out top.
Boy, Toney and ML going at it.
Oh, they've gone at it before.
We're going to have some trouble here. Keep your eye on those two. I'll tell you, ML wants a piece of them. And the rookie's upset.
Let's take a look here.
There's the play again. Toney trying to take over the offense. He's been effective. Don't get me wrong.
He's a gutsy rookie, isn't he?
Don't overlook the other 4 guys. You're going to need them.
Toney with the free throw. Celtics now over the limit. And Darryl Dawkins will check in, and Bobby Jones will come out.
Big defensive rebound down the other end by Caldwell Jones that last time off the missed Robert Parish jumper.
Celtics have scored just 8 points so far in this quarter. They're 2 of 9 from the floor. Toney hits them both. Andrew Toney with 22 points and a 95-87 8-point Philadelphia lead. Hollins now in Archibald. Parish pushing off a little bit on Dawkins.
Trying to go inside to McHale. Jay is on him.
ML off the glass, won't go, tipped outside. Toney has it. They've got a 3-on-1 break. Toney in the middle to Jay. House call and in.
Erving getting the
23, his first 2 points of the quarter, and Bill Fitch wants a timeout with 5:57 left to go in this basketball game, and we'll keep it right here as Philadelphia has jumped out to a 10-point lead, and a silence has just cascaded over the Boston Garden. Folks can't believe this is happening.
Psychologically, this could obviously be destructive to the Celtics. You know, I think it was fair to say, in fact, we did say on the top, that they were going to have a great deal of trouble, you know, taking both of these home games with the back-to-back situation. Bill Fitch and Red Auerbach have made this very clear, but it seemed like, you know, it was the second game. If they were going to lose one, it was going to be the second game in the series for the the reasons that we talked about.
Let's take a look at this here. Here's a Celtic miss, and Toney comes up with it, and he will take the ball to the middle, Bob.
Yep, he passes up. He had Jay earlier. He could have simply given him a long pass. He brings it down himself and eventually makes the play. Toney has been very effective. He's 7 for 8 from the free throw line, 7 for 14 from the field, including a three-pointer. Got himself 3 rebounds and 5 assists. So, you know, it sounds like I'm putting the kid down. I'm saying it's at this point now. He's taken over and he's done a pretty good job.
Give it back to Jay.
He's got to start giving it back. Exactly, involving other people in the offense.
Roby and Henderson will check in for the Celts with 5:57 to go. And Bob, we talked a lot about, you know, how this series will go. People say, who do you think will win it, Celtics or Sixers? This first game, once again, I can't stress how pivotal it is. And I just feel whoever gets the advantage in this first game is going to have the advantage in this series.
It'll hurt the Celtics, there's no question, but they've got the kind of stability, at least they've demonstrated all season, where they can overcome something like that.
They're going to call a foul on Larry Bird. That'll be 3 on Larry. Vanek makes the call.
Well, they were trying to post Bird. They hit him with the double team even without the ball. Let's take a peek. Trying to get into the play. Boy, he's absorbing a little punishment, I'll tell you, before he retaliates finally. Again, a question of the second foul, I think, being caught.
Hollins swings it in the corner. Traveling called on Andrew Toney. Philadelphia, Bob, has outscored the Celtics 19-4 over the last 5.5 minutes. And let's point out, Larry Bird has but 4 points in the second half.
Well, the speed of Philadelphia, I think, has made the difference. They've been able to make the good, strong transition, take away the Celtic fast break. They've been effective on the other end themselves, but they have forced the Celtics to go outside. And as you said, Bird, that's his first field goal here in the last quarter. So they've been quiet from the outside, and Philadelphia shut down their fast break.
97-88 with just over 5 minutes to go. McHale on the dock. Kevin with 5 fouls. Henderson on Toney now. Pull up. Won't go. Roby the rebound. Here comes Toney.
A little change in momentum here. If the
Off the glass and in.
Beautiful.
With 20 points.
Big hoop there, obviously, by Toney in terms of turning that momentum around.
97-91, a 6-point Philly lead.
I'm surprised that Billy Cunningham is letting Toney continue to do his thing.
There he did his thing.
What can you say?
Toney, quickly, Toney wants to push it up. Caldwell Jones gets in the face. Bird to pull up on top, misses it. And they're going to call the foul on McHale.
No, I don't think it's a foul, is it? Yes, it is. John
Yes,
Vanek.
it is, and that'll be it for Kevin McHale. McHale is fouled out of the game.
Oh, boy, that's going to hurt, I'll tell you.
With 4:13 to go.
They need that kid coming down a stretch here if they're going to make a run. They're 8 down, and it'll send Philly. They're in penalty, so here's the play. Kevin. Well, just a lot of bodies smacking into each other, and as we pointed out, the game has gotten extremely physical here in the second half.
Philadelphia wants a 20-second timeout right now. McHale checks out of the game with 6 points, 3 rebounds, and a couple of assists. And we have 4 minutes and 13 seconds left to go in this basketball game, and the Celtics trail it by 8, 99-91.
And Philadelphia, because of their speed and quickness, very difficult team to come back against, because if they spread that offense out and you're trying to make up a deficit, you've got to go out there and make yourself more vulnerable against that kind of speed and quickness. Makes it extremely difficult.
Max will go back in for Kevin McHale, so it's Archibald, Henderson, Rick Roby, Larry Bird, and Cedric Maxwell. Toney, Hollins, Caldwell Jones, Darryl Dawkins, and Julius Erving.
Caldwell Jones, who hit those 2 big free throws in the stretch against Milwaukee on Sunday and iced the game. the Philadelphia bench, and I guess that tells the whole story, has outscored the Boston bench 42-13. That's incredible.
And we'll tell you that outside of Clint Richardson's one free throw, all those points come from Bobby Jones and Andrew Toney. 191. Caldwell Jones misses the free throw.
So often in playoff competition, especially, you know, the defense gears itself for the starters. And when those guys come off the bench, there's a natural letdown. And if you've got a guy like Toney who can score that
open
well.
on the side, in and out, tip back outside. Larry's got it. The running right-hander won't go as Caldwell Jones is in his face.
Well,
And Toney has it, and they'll just walk it up now, Bob, with 3:48 to go.
yeah, they're going to run the clock down now. And as I say, given the bonus situation, the Celtics have got to gamble. That means going for the steal. They're going to pick up some fouls.
Bird is 1 of 6 in the fourth quarter. Double team now. Hollins is able to split it. And now they're going to call an offensive foul on Lionel Hollins, and on Hollins, that is 4.
Well, when you pick up the double team, you've got to look for that free man. He fought his way out of the trap. This is where, instead of putting it to the floor, instead of taking the 2 dribbles, he should have found those free men and let him swing the ball around. Good break for the Celtics.
Henderson. Roby thinking about it. Cross court to Larry. Henderson open on the baseline. Toney got a piece of it. Andrew Toney with a piece of that basketball. Dawkins hits the deck, and Hollins will slow it up and gets it to Erving. 3:10 left to go.
Celtics needed a hoop that time down the floor.
Toney has done it. He has been the factor. Now he's trying to go around Henderson. Blocked by Roby.
Good job by Roby.
Releases to
Bird
Bird.
out
2-on-1 to Henderson. Back to Bird. Goaltending. And it's good. And he's fouled.
Nice job.
Goaltending on Caldwell Jones.
I don't know if they're going to call a foul. I think they're just going to give him the hoop.
Oh, no foul?
Yeah.
Give the hoop to Bird. No foul. Let's take a look.
There's the play. Oh, wow. Can you imagine? Oh, that's a tough call.
That was something, I'll tell you.
The game has been worked pretty well up to that call, I think.
We got a timeout on the floor. 2:53 to go. Sixers leading 193. We'll be back right after this. 2 minutes and 53 seconds left to play here at the Boston Garden in regulation time. 193. 7-point Philadelphia lead. Bobby Jones will check back in. Oh, isn't that something? You can bring a guy like that off the bench with less than 3 minutes to go.
Well, it's a psychological move. You know, as we pointed out, the guy should be starting and would be starting on any team in the league. So it's not a question of his talent level, but I'm sure Cunningham does it for psychological reasons. Whatever, it works pretty well. But you can play Bobby any place and anywhere, and he's going to be effective. All right. Pretty good ball handlers in there for Philly. They're going to spread the offense out, and they're going to run the clock down.
Steal by Bird. Here comes Toney. He finds Larry. Inside to Henderson and in.
Good job. That's what they needed, a quick hoop.
195. The play made on the steal by Larry Bird. Cheeks with 5 fouls back in there now. The crowd comes to life.
Well, it seemed like a good move by Cunningham, but Cheeks just turned that ball over quickly. They're trying to go to Jay.
7 on the shot clock. On a double team. Hollins is open. He likes that shot. Misses it. Bobby Jones a tip. Won't go. And it'll be Celtic basketball. They're going to let him play down the stretch, it appears.
There they are. There. Good anticipation by Bird. He does it so well. 8th in the league in steals this year. Man 6'9", that's too bad.
Open. 2 minutes left to go in this ball game. Roby way out on top. Bird breaks free from Jones. 20 feet. Hits! Bird with 31. 197, a three-point ball game with 150 left to go.
Big one. Plenty of time. Celtics need the good, tough D here.
Bobby Jones in the corner. Hollins. 9 on the shot clock. Lionel pull up, blocked by Henderson. Bird flips it to Maxwell. Max has got Cheeks in front of him. Drops it to Roby. Spins in the lane, puts it up. Won't go. Maxwell, the fake. And it counts.
And he's fouled.
Yes, he is. The foul on Caldwell Jones. And the Celtics have a chance to tie it with 1:25. There it is. Roby spins, gets the shot, Bob.
Roby creates a lot of contact. No foul call. The shot doesn't go down. Max is there. Good pump fake. Gets both big men off their feet. What he does so well, once again lays it in and picks up the foul. There's the Roby shot.
He kept it alive with a tip after he missed it.
Good pump fake into traffic. Gets both big men up in the air.
Maxwell can tie it with this free throw.
It is not bonus, so all he gets is one.
He's hit both tonight. He misses it. Parish the rebound. Bird, couple of fakes, leans in. Follows, won't go.
Oh, wow.
Foul underneath. Loose ball foul.
Oh, boy.
And that is going to be on Larry Bird, and that is his fourth. The Sixers are in the bonus.
Well, okay, still plenty of time. There's the missed shot. Bird gets in, follows it up. It just bounces over, or takes an additional bounce on the rim and throws off Bird's timing. Bounces out. Bird jumps in. Loose ball foul. They're in both penalties, so...
Caldwell Jones, Bob, hits a big free throw Sunday against Milwaukee. He's 70% in the playoffs, and he misses the first one.
Well, the pressure's starting to get to everyone.
One in the penalty. 1:16 left to go. Jones could give him a 2-point lead if he makes this one, and he does. 101-99, 1:15 left to go.
Let's see what the Celts go to. Looks like they're setting up the high pick for Toney. That'll bring Bird out on the weak side, but Jones is there overplaying. They're not able to get it to him.
Henderson on top. Pulls up for the pop. In and out. Parish badly. Maxwell. Celtics basketball. New 24 seconds with 58 to go in the game.
Philly played the Celtic movement pretty well there. They were not able to go to the people they wanted to. Henderson ended up with the shot on top.
Parish the shot. In and out. Maxwell the offensive rebound. And in. Cedric Maxwell ties it at 101 with 51 to go. And he has been the factor for the Celtics in the fourth quarter since replacing McHale, who fouled out of the game.
Well, you think he's done a job on that offensive board the last few minutes?
Philly wants a timeout. And the crowd is on their feet. 101 with 43 to go, and here it is, Cedric Maxwell underneath.
They laid off him. The Celts, as we told you earlier, have out-rebounded. There's the Parish jumper. Max with a good position.
Really screened out Jay that time,
Yep.
didn't he?
Max spreads himself out nicely. Puts it back up without any defensive pressure at all. As we said earlier, the Celts have I believe it's 164 rebounding edge on the offensive board over this club during the year. We've just seen it demonstrated here in the last couple of minutes with Philadelphia unable to come down with that defensive rebound off the missed Celtic shots, and the Celts have been able to capitalize. Two big rebounds and eventual baskets by Cedric Maxwell.
Bob, the Celtics have run off a 10-1 streak in the last 3.5 minutes. They were down 191. It is now tied at 101.
A couple of turnovers and a couple of missed shots, and what we saw happen to them.
The defense keyed it. Bird with the steal down here. Got it going.
Both these clubs, as we said, are capable of functioning that well with their defense.
Henderson with the block shot also, and Gerald has played well down the stretch.
Yeah. Philadelphia will probably try to go to Jay. He's their bread and butter man. When you're in trouble, go to your muscle. And with McHale out of there, I would think they'll try to isolate him. Celts have got to be careful not to foul. They're trying to get
Steal by Henderson. Henderson with the steal on the overplay against Andrew Toney. 34 and 20 on the respective clocks.
Jay with the careless pass. He walked away from it instead of staying with it.
Foul underneath on Philadelphia as Henderson hit the deck. Foul is going to be on 24, Bobby Jones. And on Bobby Jones, his second, but more important, fans, that puts the Celtics into the bonus situation.
That's the fifth. Darryl Henderson will be going to the line. 2 for 1.
Gerald Henderson on the night with just 4 points. Hits the first one. Celtics have got the lead back. He's a 72% free throw shooter on the season.
Always nice to get that first one under your belt, let me tell you, in a situation like this.
27 seconds left to go. In and out. Dawkins the rebound, a 1-point game. Let's see the strategy here.
Well, they went
21
to Toney.
and 18.
Went to Toney instead of Jay.
Won't go. Jay tips it in.
I don't think he's going to give him the hoop.
Foul is on Bird. Loose ball foul. No hoop. Foul is on Bird, and that is his 5th.
Toney's shot rolls off the rim after bouncing up there 5 times. Well, I'll tell you, the Celtics were a little lucky there.
Yes, they were.
I think the foul he called was moving Jay out of there, but
Yeah,
Jay got his hand. He had already tipped. Woo.
Caldwell Jones will check in. Gerald Dawkins will come out. 13 seconds left to go. 102-101. Maurice Cheeks, Bobby Jones, Julius Erving, Caldwell Jones, and Lionel Hollins. Jay won in a penalty. The Doctor with 23 points tonight. He hits it. Tied at 102.
Billy probably will go full court with pressure if he makes this one, or if he doesn't for that matter. With 13 seconds left, they want to delay.
Hits it. Celtics want a timeout with 13 seconds to go, and the Sixers leading 103-102. And we'll just keep it right here. Bob.
All right, with a timeout in the last couple of minutes, the team has the option of taking it under their basket or at half court. So I would think with 13 seconds left, the Celtics will opt to take it at half court. We've talked about how difficult it is, especially against a quick team, to get that ball in. But obviously you're saving 45 feet, and it's time that you're going to need, I think, to affect offensively what you'd like to have happen. The way they've been controlling that offensive board, I would think a quick shot, you know, give yourself a second or third opportunity, hopefully, in the 13 seconds to come up with your hoop or your foul rather than setting up any complicated play.
One timeout left for each team. One timeout left for both Philadelphia and Boston. Let's go back to the substitution of Gerald Henderson and Rick Roby about 5.5 minutes ago. That seemed to be a catalyst that helped turn it around for the Celtics.
You know, they had lost momentum and they were a little flat, so sometimes that kind of move, as it did, it seems tonight, can pay off in terms of triggering an explosion, and they did run off 10-1. Roby made a big play in that period, as did Gerald.
The Celtics, as you said, will have it out underneath their own hoop with 13
No, they have
seconds.
a choice.
Oh,
They'll go to half court, I think. They want to
yes,
save
they
that
will.
45
Yes, they
feet.
will.
Yeah.
Vanek started to take it underneath their own hoop, and now he brings it out to center court. Bird will take it inbounds.
I would think Philadelphia would want to give them maximum pressure, especially on the ball. No, they're going to leave the ball alone. Wow, that's Jones. Bobby Jones is going to roam.
Bird will take it inbounds.
Boy, I'm surprised at that.
All right, 20-second timeout. Bird calls a 20-second timeout. So they had the 20, and they've got one regulation timeout left.
That's a bad move on the part of Philadelphia. I don't, you know.
Well, maybe
You must pressure the ball. There's no way. Bird is going to find a receiver. Let's hope they do the same thing the next time around. Jones, with his quickness and his anticipation, the length of his arms, etc., can give that man maximum pressure. And when you've got good quickness behind you, overplaying the men coming the ball, it is very difficult. But if you opt to put 5 men, on 4 and leave the ball alone, it makes it a lot easier, I think, for that passer to get the ball inbound.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that 15,320 plus people want to see the ball in the hands of Larry Bird for this last shot. I'm sure Larry Bird wants to see the ball.
And so does Bill Fitch,
Maxwell
because
takes it inbounds
Bird is
now.
not taking it out. Yep.
They get it to Parish now. They've got time. They've got 10 seconds. It's down to 9. Toney has got the lane. Drops it inside. Bird is blocked by Erving. A whistle and a foul on Lionel Hollins.
Oh, wow.
And Billy Cunningham just gave the choke sign to Wally Rooney.
Yeah.
That is going to be foul number 5 on Hollins. Celtics are in the penalty.
Let's take a look at that, because I think the Celtics might have gotten a break here. Hollins with a good position. Oh, Toney just jumps in. Although Bird is going to the foul line.
Oh, it was after the foul.
Okay.
Hollins came into Larry from behind.
Okay, so they didn't call a foul on that play.
Yes, they did. They called it on Hollins falling back in.
Yeah.
The Bird has dropped the first one home. 4 seconds remain now.
Well, Philly will call a timeout and then take it to half court, I'm sure.
It wasn't a shooting foul, though, and Larry was shooting the basketball. He hits them both. Philly wants a timeout, their last one, as the Celtics take the lead, 104-103 with 4 seconds left. If we can rack that play back up again, Bob and I will go through it for you. There was no foul on the initial contact between Archibald and Hollins. Bird had it underneath, was going up for the gimme as we take a look.
There it is. Hollins with a half a step to the ball side. He's got the good position. Toney goes up in the air, steps in. Now, they could have called a charge here. This is where the Celts got lucky. Trying to see where they call. They call a foul on Hollins.
Hollins falling into the back of Bird as he's going up for the shot.
And Jones was the one who pushed him. It should have been Jones.
But nonetheless, it should be 3 for 2, Bob.
Yeah, exactly. He went up for the shot. So whatever break they got here on top was nullified down below. But the result was the same. Bird still made the 2 shots. Now, they called it on Hollins, but it looked like Jones had his hand from the other angle. I mean, in the small of his back.
That's
and
a
the one
shot.
who gave him the push.
Yeah. Well, this is the situation. 4 seconds remain. Celtics lead it by 1, 104-103 in the 2 Larry Bird free throws. Bird with 8 fourth-quarter points. He has 33 on the night. Well, Billy Cunningham is just walking down saying that was a choke.
Again, with 4 seconds,
get the ball out of midcourt.
You've got to go to the speed. You know, you can't set up a play. It's got to be a one-on-one situation. Go to Jay or Toney, have him bring him to the basket immediately. Obviously trying to pick up the foul.
Bobby Jones takes it inbounds.
They're going to Toney.
Toney is in the corner. 3 seconds.
Oh, and he called it.
Called Maxwell.
Well, that's what they had to do. They did, and they achieved what they were trying to get, the quick foul.
That is the 4th foul on Maxwell. Both teams in the penalty. Toney will shoot 1 in the bonus.
Well, talk about pressure on a rookie. He has conducted himself pretty well so far, Toney.
Well, he has not missed a free throw tonight. He is 6 of 6.
Quick move. Max puts the...
He hits the first one.
The knee out.
2 seconds remain. And the Celtics have 1 timeout left.
This would be a good time to take it, I suppose, to ice Toney down a little bit.
Well, then
once he has, well, it's too late now.
Yeah. Toney with the 2nd free throw. He hits it.
Well, I'll tell you, that's pressure free throw.
Yes, it is. The Celtics will have it inbounds now as we take a look at the replay again of the foul here.
See, Gerald is a little out of position because you've got the mismatch. Maxwell, the forward, on Toney, the guard, with the good moves. Max simply extends his knee. Gets a piece of him, not a large piece of him, but I guess no more so than the Hollins foul down the other end. So you know, after the call, you know, on the Philadelphia end, that the officials were going to be very alert to the slightest contact, and that's really what they got from the Celtics. It was slight contact, but enough to draw the whistle.
Andrew Toney with 26 points tonight, Bob.
Well,
Celtics have 2 seconds. 2 ticks of the clock remain. They'll have the ball in at midcourt.
Yeah, you know, it's, again, the one quick pass, and now, with 4 seconds, Toney had an opportunity to put the ball on the floor. He would have had plenty of time to take it in. With 2, I don't think you can gamble on that. You can't pass it into the pack. In other words, you can't go underneath with the pass from half court. Once more, if I were Philly, I would get all over that man taking it out of bounds, especially now where they can't give up the quick long pass either to the side. I would think the pick maybe for the man coming to the corner on the same side.
You know what time it is? It's Who Wants to Be a Hero time.
Well,
that's what time it is. Terry Durod checks in the game.
Well, that's a decoy. They're not going to go to Terry. That's a decoy. I would think a pick for Bird.
105-104. Philly leads it with 2 seconds remaining. Maxwell will inbounds the ball.
They're letting the passer alone again, leaving him alone. No, they're going to, well, they got Dawkins in the game.
Now, the Celtics have set up their play, and Philly is confused about Erving is standing there, so they got a good look at what the Celtics were going to try to do. Maxwell throws it away. Bird gets in the corner, puts up a prayer. It won't go. Philadelphia wins the first game of this Eastern Conference Championship Series by the score of 105-104 as Andrew Toney hit a couple of clutch free throws with just seconds remaining. The final once again, Philadelphia 105 and the Celtics 104, and we'll be back to the Boston Garden right after this.